Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for the latest episode of the What Are We Watching podcast. Hey Melina B, what are we watching this week?
The old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's right, we got challenged in another Versus episode, and we're going to determine what's best, 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or 2010s Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Colin turns on the TV, Christian flips off the screen, cause there's no good children's shows that he's seen. We've got dogs with blogs, superheroes in the ER. All dads are dumb and kids have better PR. Colin just smile, Christian sits with the scowl. He complains to his son, all the kids shows suck now. They sit and discuss the show's plus and minuses while you listen or watch on YouTube to the arguments. Who is right? Is it the son or the dad? Either way you get to laugh knowing Christian is mad. So pull up a chair, get the corner poppin'. Here's a new episode of What Are We Watching?
Hey everybody, thanks again for joining us. How are you doing, Melina?
Good.
Now, Melina is my guest host this week because she really loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
I do.
All right. Now, this has been a big couple of weeks for you. Why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing these past couple of weeks that's been awesome?
I have wrote a book and I'm really excited about it coming out this year.
Yeah? And where else have you been the past 2 weeks?
At the police station.
Yeah, Melina has been an honorary detective because she just wrote a book called Mia, the Honorary Detective, and she got invited to a couple different police precincts in our area, and you got to go to a real crime scene.
Yeah.
She rode in a police car, turned on the siren, the lights. She fingerprinted an active crime scene. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
She's 8 years old. And then this past week, she got to meet the K-9 unit at our local police department, the Bloodhounds, ride a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of all that?
I'm just stunned right now.
You're still stunned? Stunned to silence?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. But it's not good for the podcast, so sound excited. No, I'm just joking. So what was your favorite thing about visiting the police stations?
All the stuff they gave me.
All the stuff they gave. Yeah, you've got some badges, a hat, and all kinds of stuff. Like, you've got your own police mug. She just walks around the house like a haggard old detective, just, Except you drink milk in yours, not coffee.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this week we got challenged to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Richie Williams, the St. Louis dad, but I'm going to let you see him right now. Here's the challenge video.
Hi, this is St. Louis Dad, and I challenge you to watch the old Ninja Turtles.
I challenge you. I watch the new Ninja Turtles.
All right, guys. So there's our challenge. Thank you, Richie. And hey, if you challenge us to do a Versus series, then you could win an awesome prize from either Amazon.com or iTunes.com, or you might win a Nintendo DS gift card. How cool is that for somebody? That's
Really
super.
awesome.
Yeah, they could buy a game from us, on us. And thanks to our awesome sponsors. Okay, so we watched 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. What was this episode about?
They are being lazy and, well, the turtles are being lazy and they know it's Mikey's birthday, but they don't really want him to know that they're trying to surprise him. Okay,
so the episode's about Mikey's birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else is
And
the major
Shredder
thing?
tries to turn the turtles back into regular turtles.
Oh, awesome. You said that they were being lazy, and I was curious, why did you say they were being lazy?
Because they're just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, but that's what you do all the time. Sit on the couch, watch TV. That's what we were doing, except we were taking notes.
Yeah. And they were sitting up instead of laying down.
Oh, so you were saying they were lounging, being lazy. I think that's funny that that's the very first thing you wrote was turtles are being lazy. You just think they should be kicking butt at all times.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you think about the old turtles?
I liked it.
Well, here's something cool. We're actually playing the old turtles on my Apple IIe monitor. This was my computer screen when I was your age. It's all green. There's no color on it. And I just thought, how cool would it be if we were playing the old Ninja Turtles on my old Apple IIe screen? This was my computer. It had a keyboard that went underneath it. This is just the screen. This is how thick it is, you know. And now you can watch video better on a phone, right?
Yeah.
Than you can on this thing, and it's huge. And there's probably buzzing coming from the monitor and the DVD player we have hooked up to it. But I just thought it'd be really cool, since I watched this show as a kid, to show you how some people might have seen it on black and white TV or on a green screen. Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what would you think if you had to watch TV and everything was all a version of green? Would you like that?
No.
You could. You can't. If the turtles had a green color, you know how Mikey's orange, Donatello's purple, and Raphael's red, and Leonardo's blue. You can't even tell what color people are on this one. They're just all a different version of green.
Is there any sound in there?
Well, we're not playing sound now, but yeah, you could listen to sound. But there wasn't good sound on the computer. It just went like beep, boop, beep, beep. That's it. So this is just a monitor. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so I just thought I'd bring that up. I thought it was a cool thing we could have on this episode of the podcast. Who knows? Maybe we'll do it all the time. I think it looks pretty sweet. But anyway, this is a show I watched when I was a kid. So what did you think about the way the animation looked on the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles compared to the animation of the new Ninja Turtles?
I like that one kind of a little better because it was like awesome. And
what do you mean?
like
Which
the
one was?
color was like, it looked kind of like newish because it was like lighter than the new Ninja Turtles.
Oh, so you're saying
darker.
Okay,
And
so you're saying that the new Ninja Turtles is like a darker version than the old Ninja Turtles, and the old one is a brighter version.
yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense because the new version is what we would call edgier and grittier, and definitely isn't as, I don't know, bright and fun as the old one. So yeah, I think that's a good call. You're right about that. All right, so Mikey is having himself some birthday pizza, and I noticed when Donnie was on the couch, speaking of colors, Donnie looks more pink than purple in the old ones.
I know.
It looked really, the couch was even pink, it looked like. I know it was supposed to be purple, but it looked a little more pink than purple, more lavender, we'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, lavender. Okay, so then it showed Krang. Now, what's the difference between old Krang and new Krang?
The old crane is just, there's only one, and it's not a robot. It's just like a big tube.
Well, it is a robot, but he's just a big suit, and it's like
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah.
It's like a fat guy.
And it has
And
like
his arms are
different
little.
clothes.
Yeah.
And the old crane is robots, they're like, and when they speak, there's like pink lights that go like.
Oh, and the new one, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the new one, the Krang are an alien race of lots of Krangs, and which I think the old one was too, but only one was here on Earth. And then in the old one, Krang is like the leader of the Technodrome, and he's trying to get Shredder to do his bidding. But Shredder always fights with him because he wants to be the boss, and Krang wants to be the boss. But I just thought it was funny when I was looking at Krang's arms. They're so short, it looks like he can't even do anything with them. They're like T-Rex arms. They're like real short. And he's in like a slow, fat body. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. The new Krangs are definitely cooler because they're like skinny robots and they can like jump and do karate and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But Krang's always like, Shredder, do my bidding, you know. And then it never ever works, right?
Yeah.
In the new Ninja Turtles, sometimes Shredder does win, a lot, and there's episodes where the turtles get their butts kicked, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so they show Krang and Splinter or Shredder repairing the Technodrome and the Earth's core, and then they find some stuff in the Earth's core, some gooey stuff. And what does it turn out that stuff can do?
Turn into goo.
I know, but what does that goo do? What do they figure out it can do, and what do they want to do to the turtles with it?
They want to turn the turtles back into their old turtle self.
That goo is like an anti-mutagen. So mutagen is the green goo that turned the turtles into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? And turned Splinter from a human into a rat. Well, this is anti-mutagen, and it can turn them back into turtles. So that's what they want to do, right? because
Yeah.
they figured it out on those rock soldiers. It was funny. I know you didn't understand this line, but Krang said when he found the unmutagen, he was like, "My horoscope told me I'd be lucky today," because he believes in the stars telling him whether he's going to be lucky or not. It's just funny that he's an alien, but he believes in Earth's horoscope. I think that was silly. And of course, they've got Bebop and Rocksteady, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what Bebop and Rocksteady are supposed to be?
One I think is a bulldog.
A warthog.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
A rhinoceros.
A rhinoceros. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Shredder decides to destroy the city just to get the turtles to come at him. Do you remember how many turtles he needs to be together to turn them back into regular turtles?
No.
He needs 3 of them to be together. I don't know why. It makes no sense. Krang said they accidentally turned 3 of the rock soldiers into old rocks, and that meant that there had to be 3 turtles. It makes no sense that the mutagen only works in 3s, the unmutagen. It was just a silly thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's because the story worked because they had 3 turtles by themselves. Because Mikey is upset and runs away from home. Why did Mikey run away from home?
Because he thinks that they forgot his birthday.
His birthday. Okay, so yeah, Mikey runs away because he's like, "Dudes, you don't remember my birthday. Peace out." But he doesn't say peace out because it's 1980s.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Shredder's trying to get Mikey or the other 3 turtles together and turn them back into regular turtles. Does it work?
No.
And what does he end up doing to them when he does get the unmutagen on them?
Turning them back into balloons. No, not back into balloons, but into balloons.
Exactly. Why?
I don't know. Maybe it just didn't work.
But why did that happen? It makes no sense.
Maybe because that was the wrong one. Maybe they grabbed the wrong bottle.
I have no idea why it happened, but I do know that it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It turned them into big fat floating balloons, which it just made no sense. And of course, April was in the story just for a little bit. And you know, she's always got her yellow jumpsuit on. And I think it's funny that in the new Ninja Turtles, she dresses differently, right? She's got like a cool shirt and stuff like that. But now on the later episodes, they're in space, which is just crazy. They've gone to space. And now her spacesuit, do you know what it looks like?
Yeah.
It's yellow and looks like the old 80s suit. I thought that was kind of neat that they made her spacesuit yellow. So that was pretty cool. But she's not really in the story that much. In the new Ninja Turtle, she fights with them. She learns Kung Fu and all this kind of stuff. Does stuff with fans. But she doesn't really fight in the old one. So they turn the turtles into big balloons. Makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
And then who fixes them?
Splinter.
And what does he do? You tell me. You describe to me how Splinter fixes the turtles.
They had these like circle thingies. They put a form of 3 little ones of them.
Yeah, 3 little balls. Yeah. And what does he do?
And when he thought of making them back to their normal size, they came up and made a circle around all 3 of them. And then they started to shrink back into skinniness.
Right. And then they come back down. Okay, here's the thing. They said, "Master Splinter, what are those?" And he says, "They're magic beads, my son, that I was given, that I can use on special occasions." And then they're like, "Oh man, what are those beads made out of?" And he goes, "They're called mothballs." Do you know what mothballs are?
Yeah.
What?
They're like things that when you imagine something, sometimes it comes.
Yeah, in the cartoon. Okay, but do you know what mothballs are in real life?
No.
They're little white balls that if let's say we have a box of clothes in our garage, okay? And you put the mothballs in it, it will keep, they're stinky. And it'll keep moths from coming in your box of clothes and eating clothes, because moths will eat cloth. Like if I had a sweater in a box, a moth would eat it. That's what they eat. Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so mothballs are these stinky balls that keep moths out of your clothes. But he said that these are mothballs. So do mothballs have any magic powers?
No.
So he just said, I took 3 mothballs, I said some magic words, and then I used that power to, it didn't make any sense. Like he used mothballs to fix the turtles from the unmutagen that didn't do what it was supposed to do. It blew my mind. And I don't know what to say. It was just crazy. He used mothballs. to fix the turtles just by saying some magic words. And then he goes, well, if you believe in it enough, it'll happen. Well, then why don't they just take the mothballs out and believe that Shredder can disappear and Krang can disappear, and then poof, they're gone? Like,
I'm not sure.
why not use the mothballs to solve crime? Why not say, oh, magic mothballs. I want the world to be at peace with no fighting. Boom. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, why don't they use the mothballs to do everything if he can just use magic? And when did Splinter become magic? Just because he was a human that got turned into a rat, it didn't make him magical, did it?
No.
Like, did the mutagen give him magic? It makes no sense to me. Can you explain it to me, or is it just nuts to you too?
I think it's just they don't do that to make it more like interesting.
Oh, so you're saying he can't use his magic powers just because if he did it every time?
For just everything. I think there's only for like really big problems.
Turning the turtles back to normal?
Yeah.
Well, how about using it to make Krang disappear back to space? That would be an awesome big problem.
That's not really a problem. I mean, if only if they do something bad, like try to.
But they're always doing stuff bad. They're always trying to take over the world.
I know. They're not trying to take over the world. They're trying to destroy the turtles first.
So that they can take over the world.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. The mothballs thing is bananas to me. All right. Well, let's go to the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, one thing we didn't talk about with the old Turtles was the cool theme song that I can sing by heart. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes and a half shell, turtle power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. Okay, so I know that whole song. It told exactly how it told you everything you need to know about the show if you've never seen it, right?
Yeah.
It tells you that they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It shows the ooze getting on them and them turning into turtles. It shows Splinter becoming a rat from human. It says that he trained them. It tells you everything about the show, right?
Yeah.
Now, the new one has a different theme song that starts out like the old one and then turns into a rap song, okay? Which one do you like better?
The new one.
The new one. But do you know all the words to it?
No.
No, I can't learn all the words to it because I'm not good at learning like rap songs. Like there's so many words slammed in there. I know some of it, you know.
Yeah.
But I just think that the old one tells you the story of the show better. But I like the new one. It has a little more like, I don't know, funky pizzazz. Yeah, you like it. Okay, so which one would you think tells the story better, the old one or the new one? The new one? You think it tells the story better? See, I think it's different. I think the old one does. Oh well.
Wait,
I guess that's 'cause I'm-
Did the one that where how they turned into ninjas?
I mean, they both kind of talk about it a little bit. I just don't think the new one's as easy to understand.
No, the old
but
one
yeah,
is
but I also don't think they show the ooze on the little turtles in the new one. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the old one. I guess because I grew up with it. But you like the new one because that's the one you're growing up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So how does the show start? What are they doing?
They are driving
Mhm.
around in their truck and they're trying to track something.
They're trying to track down all the mutagen containers.
But while they're driving, Mikey is reading a scary comic book
Mhm.
about a squirrel crawling in this guy's throat.
No, it's not about a squirrel. It's about aliens.
Yeah,
Okay,
aliens.
it's about
mutagen
aliens, yeah.
squirrels.
No. The story is about aliens. But then the show is about mutagen squirrels.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode is about squirrels that got into some mutagen. Okay, so after they're driving around hunting stuff, they see a guy who's like down in the sewer or wherever, and he's like afraid of the squirrel. And the squirrel shoots out this tongue like a snake and goes, oh, and then it jumps in a guy's mouth.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
it
that's
goes in the stomach.
And that's how the show starts, with a
Yeah.
squirrel jumping in a guy's throat.
That's
now,
scary.
That's scary.
They
Now,
can kind of like bite your tonsils.
it's gross. So here's the thing about the new Ninja Turtles. When we started watching them, your mom would look at me, and you all didn't know what was happening because you were sitting on the floor watching the TV show, and your mom would go, I don't think this is good for them. I think this show is going to give them nightmares. And I'm like, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. And then she's like, no, I don't think it's And it scared your little brother Ollie when he finally saw it. He's 3. And it scared him. And there was one episode, and then we didn't watch this episode, but there was one where it was like this nightmare scene where they were all seeing stuff that was like nightmares the whole time. And you told me that it bothered you once. I don't know if you remember it, but it was a long time ago. But you were like, this is freaking me out. And you said that a couple times when we were watching this episode.
Yeah.
You're like, this is freaking me out. So
I didn't want to watch it anymore.
yeah, so Donnie gets this guy and he runs some tests on him. And then, because they see the squirrel popping down his throat, and then what comes out of the guy's mouth?
2 squirrels.
2 squirrels. So one squirrel with mutagen is getting in the guy's stomach.
Then it turns into 2
It
in
multiplies.
his stomach.
Right.
That's one of the parts that freaked me out.
Oh, of course. It creeped me out.
It was like.
So this episode, I
and
think.
they're like swirling around in his stomach.
Yeah.
It
It was weird. It was weird. So
Yeah.
this is a season 2 episode. I think when it originally came out, it came out around Halloween time, which is always when they show like more horror films and stuff like that on TV. But it's not for kids. Like they don't show horror films to children because that would freak them out and give them nightmares, right?
Yeah.
So what did you think about the old cartoon and the new cartoon? Which was scarier?
The new one.
The new one, obviously, right?
Because it had squirrels, and once they turned into the huge big ones, it started to freak me out even more.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. Because they're chasing the little squirrels that pop out of the guy's mouth, right? And where does one go?
Over to the sewers.
No, one goes inside of Raphael, right?
Yeah.
So it goes in there and then turns into
2 more.
2 squirrels. But now when they hop out, they don't just have the tongues. They've got the
face on the tongue.
the bottom lip. Well, that's on the big ones, but the little squirrels have like a bottom lip with 2 extra teeth and stuff. And I've seen the Alien movie that they're copying for this cartoon. It's called Alien. And they even say something from the show or from the movie in there. So they're the writers and the cartoonists that are making the show for kids are also making it for adults going, hey, remember how awesome Alien is? When the aliens would go down the people's throat. And then what would happen was, and this is gross, and if there's kids listening or watching, be aware of it. So moms can hit mute if they want for a second. But the aliens came out of their stomachs. They even talk about it in the cartoon. Mikey says, oh, in the comic books, they burst out of the guy's stomach. And then I'm like, what are they doing? This is for children. This is a freaky episode. This is a horror. And that's the thing I don't think people get about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is it's kind of a horror cartoon.
Yeah.
It really is, especially the earlier seasons. And I think they've gotten away from that with the new space episodes and things like that. I don't know if it was people complaining. I mean, it's been on the air now for, I think, 4 seasons, the new Turtles. And I like it. The animation's well done. The voice acting's top notch. There are much more, the stories are better. There's not magic mothballs in it. I like the new Turtles, but
This new one was
it's
different.
freaky. And it's not the only one. There are other ones that I've watched that I've been like, this is a horror show for children. It really is.
Just like Goosebumps, it's different.
Exactly. It's like Goosebumps, but people know that about Goosebumps, and I don't think people realize that about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I'm not a guy that clutches my pearls. What that means is an adult that's like always concerned, like, oh, the children, we should be concerned about the children. But there have been times when I'm watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and I thought, oh, we shouldn't be watching this. Like sometimes I've gotten your attention to look at me when I thought something bad was happening, or I've told you to close your eyes on a couple episodes because it's freaky. It's freaky. So I think parents really should know that the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, especially the earlier seasons, I think they pulled back a little. It is like a horror show for kids.
Yeah, in the new one, I realized that the comic book was basically, I think the comic book is like magic because the things in the comic book is happening in the
Yeah,
real.
it's not magic, but it's the writers are going, oh man, Mikey knows exactly what's going to happen because the creatures are acting exactly like the animals. So it's not like it's magic, but it's very similar. But that's because they're copying for that comic and for the show the movie Alien, where an alien goes in and out
Guys,
and bursts out the stomach. Yeah, it's gross. But they even use lines from the movie when he was like, "Game over, man, game over." That's about a guy in the movie. He goes crazy and he starts saying, "Game over, man, game over." So they're really paying. It's called homage or homage. They're paying homage to this old show, this old movie, by making this. So it's really for parents to go, "Oh, I remember that in Alien. This is like that." But it's like, yeah, but it's a little too much like that. It's really, it's crazy. I thought it was a little bit freaky. Okay, so he jumps into Raphael, two pop out. Now they've got different teeth, and then they turn into these big monster squirrels.
Not yet. They glow before they do that.
You're right. They start glowing because they're getting ready to mutate even more and turn into these big squirrels. And let me tell you, the way they drew those giant squirrels
was really freaky.
It's the way the alien looks in the movie Alien that they're copying. That's why they look like that, because they're trying to make it for the adults look like Alien. And I thought, hey, dudes, you went a little too far, because its tongue shoots out, and what's on the end of its tongue? A mouth.
A little face.
A little face and a mouth. I was like, dudes, like, I appreciate what you're trying to do. It's funny, it's cool, but it's too much. It was too much. I mean, you're 8. You saw this episode. I don't know if you remember, but you have seen this episode before. You saw it a year or two before. And you just probably forgot in case you watch, so many TV shows. But you've seen this episode, or at least I know your brother Carlin has. So they don't want to go after him, and they send Metalhead. And what happens to Metalhead? Metalhead's their metal turtle. What happened to Metalhead?
The big squirrel ate his head off.
Well, knocked his head off, right? Did he eat it off? Did he bite it off, or what?
I think
he knocked it off. Yeah.
No, he didn't knock it off.
Oh.
He went.
Oh, he did bite it off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he swallowed it because I saw something bumpy in his mouth and then it went down.
Yeah, I didn't notice that he ate the head because I think I was looking at you because you said, and I wrote it in all capital letters, you said, "This is getting a little creepy for me." You said, "This is freaking me out." So I wrote that down. So the tongue has the mouth on it and all that kind of stuff. And all the while you were saying stuff, and you also jumped when part of it happened. And you said, maybe I shouldn't be watching this one. That's crazy. A kid told their parent, maybe I shouldn't be watching this cartoon. That tells you it's a little bit, it's too creepy. I think it's too
like
creepy.
It's a total nightmare.
It's nightmare fuel. All right. So what ends up happening? They beat the squirrels, the gigantic squirrels. How did they beat them?
They started. Well, Mikey had a bag of popcorn. He's like, "Come here, little squirrely."
Right, because he knew they like popcorn.
Yeah,
and then
they're attracted to food.
Right. And then where did they go? Where did they disappear to?
The sewers.
They sucked them down a sewer, like into a
And then there's a new. At the end, they're reading. Mikey starts reading a new one, The Return of the Squirrels.
Well, The Return of the Aliens, right.
Yeah.
And then
this guy with the helmet worker who's working
the sewer worker.
The leaks, one of the squirrels came up and ate him.
Well, no, it jumped in his mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it ended the show with Mikey reading the comic and going, "Oh man, they totally made a sequel, The Return of the Aliens." And they were like, "What?" And then they show a sewer worker and the squirrel jumping down his mouth, and then they just freeze frame it and leave it on what's called a cliffhanger, which means like, uh-oh, something's going to happen soon,
Yeah.
So they really made it like an old horror movie, because that's how old horror movies used to be. Like, it would be like a Frankenstein movie, and you'd think they got Frankenstein, and all of a sudden he'd lurch up, and that'd be the end of the movie. Or you think you've got the guy killed, and then all of a sudden a hand reaches out from the dirt where they buried him. Stuff like that.
Oh.
Cliffhangers. I know, it's scary. So this thing really is like a horror show for kids, like every week. But now it's a little bit different. Now they're in space. It's more like, they're trying to do like more of a Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, space battles, and they go to
like
planets and fight. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's in space as well, but it's more space action-y. So it's more like Buck Rogers for the old people watching. Okay, so on a level from 1 to 10, 1's the worst and 10 is the best, what number would you give the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? 1's the worst and 10's the best.
5.
Just a 5? Just it's okay?
Or maybe a little bit. Probably like a 9.
5 or a 9?
Yeah.
Which one? 5 or 9? Or
9.
So you liked it?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you give the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? 1's the worst and 10's the best.
2.
A 2? You would rate it that badly, but you love watching the show.
It was kind of like scary.
So this episode is a 2, but
Yeah.
regular Teenage Mutant Ninja, the new
Well,
Teenage
it's
Mutant Ninja
not
Turtles, when
so
it's not scary, what would you do? Give it a 10 because it's the best?
Yeah.
So if you were to choose your best, not the scary episodes, but which would you rather watch, the 80s or the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
The 80s.
You'd rather watch the old one? Like if you had to choose between the old, if you could only have one cartoon, would you watch the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Old.
You would? Why?
Because it's like more bright, not like
And
bright colors.
fun and
Yeah.
silly.
And Mikey's voice is a little different. It's like, hi dudes.
Hey dudes, cowabunga! Let's go eat some za. Yeah, okay. So if you could only watch one, you'd watch the old one.
Yeah.
Would you watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new one, if it was only scary episodes?
No.
Never?
No.
So would you want to watch this episode again?
Which one?
The squirrel one?
No.
You're done with it?
Yeah.
So would you say that the new show is good for kids your age with the scary stuff?
No.
No, you wouldn't recommend it to your friends?
No.
Okay. And would you recommend it for your little 3-year-old brother?
No.
Definitely not. What would you tell him if he walked down and it was playing?
I would tell you to just shut the TV off. Or change it to one of his shows like Loud House.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Even from a kid, she says, the show's freaking me out. Maybe I shouldn't be watching this. And she'd rather watch the 80s show. Now, I like the storylines better in the new show. I think the animation's better. It is a little bit grittier and stuff, but it's too gritty. It's too scary. Like, there are some episodes where legitimately one of the episodes, it was like a drug sequence. Well, I think they had gotten like hypnotized or something. And there was stuff floating all around the screen. People would turn into, like the other turtles, when they looked at them, would turn into scary faces. And like, it was a drug/horror movie. It was really, really bad. And I think I just stopped it from you guys watching it because I was like, this is not good. This is not cool at all. So that's what the parents should know about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Season 1, 2 through 3. And even the monsters that the mutagen turns the bad guys into, some of those monsters are kind of rough looking. Like the girl, Kai, which is Shredder's, well, Shredder says it's his daughter, but it's really Splinter's daughter. It's before he got turned into a rat. So Shredder's been raising her. We find out it was Splinter's daughter. But she gets turned into a snake creature that has a snake for a head, hands that have snake heads as their hands, and she has a tail. You remember Kai, the snake girl? I mean, that's freaky.
She was white and blue.
It's really kind of freaky. And there's the guy that got turned into like the werewolf dog, and that wasn't so bad. But then when he got more mutagen in another episode, he turned into like this skeletal bone dog thing that's walking around always trying to get the turtles. And it's brutal, man. It's brutal. When I was a kid, people didn't like the Ninja Turtles because they had weapons like swords and stuff. And the parents used to get upset that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they thought was too scary with kids with having the weapons, and they didn't think kids should see this. So when they made the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which was live action, they had like swords and everything, and the parents went nuts, and they're like, our kids shouldn't be watching turtles with swords and fighting. So then they made the second movie, and it was all of them like being silly and dancing, and they never used their weapons. And I thought as a kid that was stupid. I think as an adult that is still stupid. It's ridiculous. Because, you know, there's weapons in all kinds of shows that kids watch. They never actually kill anybody. They never had any blood on the first movie. And I think parents back then were nuts to say that. Now, as a parent now, I'm saying this movie is like a horror show and maybe kids shouldn't watch it. But I'm not saying they should stop making it. That's the difference. I'm not saying they should change it. I do think at the beginning there should be a warning that says, hey, if your kids are under 13, this is kind of a freaky cartoon. We're going to put some freaky stuff in this episode, so maybe parents should watch it with them and do things accordingly. But I'm not a fan of people going, don't make this, it's bad and wrong. I'm a fan of parents having the choice to choose, right?
Yeah.
That's why we have ratings on movies. Like Deadpool, you're not allowed to see that.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's an R-rated movie, right? It's not appropriate for
There's
kids.
like blood,
All
cuss
kinds
words.
of all kinds of stuff. But I don't think Deadpool's appropriate for some adults because some adults can't handle that stuff. So, but I'm not saying don't make it. I'm not saying it's wrong to make it, but I am saying, hey, parents, know what you're getting into and know that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new show,
Can be a little freaky.
it can be free. So there you go. There's our verses. Thank you, Richie Williams, St. Louis dad, for giving us this challenge. I really enjoyed this one. She halfway enjoyed this one. But Richie, you gave my daughter nightmares. No, he didn't give you nightmares.
Actually, last night I kind of had a little bit of that part in it.
Well, maybe you got it out of your system. So look at the camera and yell at Richie for giving you nightmares.
Don't give me nightmares again.
There you go, Richie. Don't give her nightmares again. Okay, guys, remember, if you send us a challenge video, you could win an Amazon gift card, an iTunes gift card, or it's Christmas time, we're giving out Nintendo DS gift cards. And Richie has an Amazon gift card coming his way. Thanks for challenging us. You can check out more episodes at whatarewewatching.com. And we are also on iTunes. The easy way to get to it is just to go to whatarewewatching.com/iTunes. Boom, it'll take you to our iTunes page. We're also on Libsyn and all over the web, YouTube. So check us out. Give us a thumbs up and a like. We really appreciate it. Hey, Mia, your interview of Millie Davis from On Squad has had 24,000 people watch it on YouTube.
It's like almost every single hour somebody watches it.
Oh, yeah, there's always a new person every hour watching it. You're definitely right about that. More. So that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so check out Melina's interview of Millie Davis, 24,000. My son interviewed Chris Tallman, the dad from the Thundermans. You got to check that out. So we will see you next week with a new mini episode, and we're going to tell you what we're watching. That way you can watch the episodes ahead of time and know what the heck we're talking about. And just thanks for watching us. Do you have anything to say to people, Melina?
I don't mean to brag if Carlin never watches this, but I have more than them.
You
than
have.
him.
She's bragging that she has more views than her brother does, who normally co-hosts with me. That's brutal. All right. We won't tell him. Shh. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
This production is brought to you by the Plaid Dad Blog Podcast Network. For more information, visit us at plaiddadblog.com.